Hi, today we're looking at Craftsman VersaTrack hooks and putting them on GearTrack, or maybe putting GearTrack hooks on VersaTrack. Can you do it? Will it work? Let's find out. So let's start with the VersaTrack hooks. Now this is a VersaTrack hook. I'm going to hold it really close so you can see it. The way it mounts is a little piece of metal that twists over the top to hook around the track. And then there's also this little plastic tab that rotates around to secure it in place. There's a little knob in front, and then it secures this plastic in the back. So let's try it. Let's put it on. Now at first it doesn't look like it's going to work because it just doesn't quite sit flush. But then you just give it a little nudge. Or I have the tab open. But then you just give it a little nudge and it will slide into place. It doesn't sit quite flush at the top, but you know, it holds on pretty okay. So let's turn the knob and let's see if it's secure. Seems pretty good to me. So let's throw some weight on it. That's pretty good. I think for everyday use that works just wonderfully. Now they make another style of hook, VersaTrack. They make another style. Oop, this one. So they make these other hooks, these smaller ones, and they just clip on. There's just a little, it slides over the top and then it clips on at the bottom. So let's try these. Perfect. You can't beat that. So I think, you know, as far as Craftsman VersaTrack on Gladiator GearTrack, it works just fine. Now, there's one other thing I want to show you. These hooks are a freaking godsend. Look how thick the Gladiator hook is compared to the VersaTrack hook. The Gladiator hook is really thick, and this can be a problem when you got something that you can't quite fit over it. Well, the VersaTrack hook solves all that. So if you're a Gladiator owner and you've ever tried to put anything on those big fat Gladiator hooks that you just can't fit over, buy some VersaTrack. It's awesome. Oops. So with that said, so my final verdict on Craftsman VersaTrack hooks on Gladiator GearTrack, absolutely, big thumbs up. I would use it for everyday use. Now, if you got something big, heavy, or ridiculously heavy, stick with the Gladiator. They're better hooks. They've got thicker back plates. They're just well made. I'd stick with them. But for your everyday stuff, you can use the, if you see this on sale, go buy it. It works. So that's my final verdict on the VersaTrack. On GearTrack, big thumbs up. Now, if you want to put a Gladiator hook on Craftsman VersaTrack, how does that work? Well, I don't actually own any VersaTrack, so I went down to my local Lowe's and I tried it. So let me show you how the Gladiator track works and I'll explain what happened. So there's this little piece of metal right here. This hooks over the top on both sides. And then there's this top piece of metal that's supposed to, in the GearTrack anyway, it locks the hook into place from underneath. It slides under. And then there's a piece of metal at the bottom. Now let me explain why it doesn't work. This has nowhere to go. You only have, this hook's on, but then it can't sit flush because this piece gets in the way. You just can't get it to get flush. So basically what you're left with is just these two little bits of metal up top holding it in place. And I don't think that's really all that secure. On top of that, it's also not that much surface area, so I'm afraid you're going to deform the track. And if you bump it, well, let's just say I think that's coming down on you. So don't use Gladiator hooks on Craftsman VersaTrack. It's my verdict. No, don't do it. So if you're a Gladiator GearTrack owner, I hope this gives you some extra options for hooks. Still deciding what to buy? I would go with GearTrack since it seems you can use VersaTrack hooks on it anyway. Also, if you consider purchasing or installing GearTrack, check out my video on installing the tracks. Thanks for watching.